Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. Their website in the back here is chrisann.com. Here's a picture of Chris Ann. I don't think I saw any other websites in here, but I'll look real quick. No, I don't see any other ones. The other one is Energy Oracle Cards by Sandra Ann Taylor, which just looks the same as the box. HayHouse.com is the websites. There's also Hay House Radio here in the back. Feel free to freeze frame if you want to check any of that out. And there's a picture of Sandra. Woo! Okay. Cool. Great. Love it. Okay. What do we have for Cancer? Oh, this one started out upside down too. But your cards are really kind of good. So maybe they're... Okay, let's keep going. Let me get these out before I... That one came out upside down again? Did I not fix it? Okay. Holding the line. Are you doing what needs to be done here, or is there something else not working? That card. Well, that's for somebody else. Broken heart is showing up in the environment. Somebody else is upset. I don't know about you being upset, but I feel you stepping back and not saying anything with the King of Swords upside down. I almost feel like that's why it came out upside down. There's lack of action, lack of talking, somebody keeping their emotions to themselves. The question is that good? Because you know what? Sometimes that is good. That's just because... People don't think things out unless they have a moment to think it out for themselves. And sometimes helping them talk it out once in a while is not the better way to do it. They really need to figure out for themselves what they want. Page of Cups and the Devil card. They need to really think about where they ended up, how they ended up, where they ended up. And somebody telling them that, it doesn't seem to work. There's something here with... they have to open their own door. Oh, I love this. I really like Chris Ann's work. I really do. It's very, very good. But this is the Five of Pentacles, yeah? Yep. No, you clearly can see the lock in the door, and you can see the key. The question is, where's the doorknob? I love that's not there. Are the Five Pentacles, are they actually the doorknob? What does that key unlock? That's the thing. It's not supposed to be a simple answer. And I feel like that's what this person's dealing with. They have to go unlock that themselves, and then they have to figure out what happens next. Is the door spring-loaded? Does it just open? Do you have to turn one of these knobs up here to open the door? Do you have to move it all as a unit and move all five of them together? What do they need to do? They need to do the work. It's very, very important that they do the work. You not really saying anything is forcing them to do the work. It's almost like when you try to help somebody and you give them ideas of why it could be, and instead of thinking it out, they're like, oh, that's probably it, and they just move on. It's not my fault, I'm moving on. Oh, it was that, I'm moving on. This person has to search deep and figure their own things out. They have to come up with their own answers. You might see it, you might even know, but you telling them does not help them. I feel like you have the need to try to figure it out. Are you going to hold back? What's going to go on with this? You have the need to do it. I feel like part of you wants to. But it's almost like, why? Why do that? It's not going to change it. Maybe this is something where this person is constantly doing these things. And it's kind of like holding back and stepping back for a while, letting them kind of marinate in their own situation, is the only way that they might figure it out, because I don't feel them going in a good direction. They have to decide for themselves. Sometimes when people get too busy, they just don't think about what they're doing. They just keep going from one to the next. And they get so far down the road, tragedy after tragedy, train wreck after train wreck, that they just start to make that the way of life. And they just feel like, well, this is how I live. This is how my life is. Instead of slowing down, realizing the choices they're making and where they're ending up. Yeah, this is something for them to figure out. Four of Pentacles. A lot of Pentacle energy here going on. And I say that, and there's literally probably 2 cards. 3. There's 3. 3. But still, I feel a lot of Pentacle energy. 2 of them are on their side, and 1 is on your side in how you're handling this. It's not like you won't offer help. I feel like your help is more like, oh, okay, you need somebody to help drop you off somewhere, I can do that. You need somebody to, like, pick this up for you later, I can do that. You're looking for something to do, well, I need the house painted. Knock your socks off. I feel like you're not really talking, but you're probably giving this person things to do, or you're helping them get things done. I don't see a lot of talking coming here, but I do see that it's very obvious that you care. It's very obvious. And sometimes that's what people need. Not to really talk, but just to have somebody there. And just to do something that has nothing to do with the issue at hand. I know that sometimes that's hard for people, but almost like getting together to bake something. Maybe you're going to bake cookies. Just make it easy. I would show up to bake cookies with certain people, not with just anybody. Certain people in my family, I wouldn't go that far. Or there's really good friends that I hang out with. I would bake cookies with them. And then we would just talk about nothing. Just talk about TV shows, weather, whatever, the dogs, whatever. But not talking about a problem. Just being there, just enjoying company and no stress. Sometimes people literally just need that to bring their energy into a better tone. Is that a good way? A better pitch? What do we want to say? Like a pitch. It's kind of like you can be the emotional pitch pipe for this person. Help them get into good energy. Don't bring up the subject. Hopefully they don't either, because I feel like they really need to figure it out themselves. But, if they bring it up, then you deal with it how you need to. If this is really hitting, I don't think they would bring it up. And as long as you don't bring it up and just give them a good tone, a good energy, a good place to be, and just kind of like there's no stress, there's no worry, we're just enjoying people. We're just enjoying each other. Just hanging out. There's no stress. Maybe we're watching a movie together that we just want to. Maybe we're going to a show. Maybe we're doing something in the park. We're feeding the ducks. We're going for a run. Whatever we're doing. No stress. We're not setting it up like we have to deal with something. We're just making it. You're just being that emotional pitch pipe, helping them get into good energy. I feel like they have to figure it out. Judgment will go in their favor when they stop moving. This is actually advice, not to do things, but to just work it through it. Think through it. They don't like it. It's not fun. 5 of Swords is like, things just seem pointless. Whatever's happening, it feels like it's just out of their control. There's nothing they can do. But this is one of those things where I've pointed this out to people, and sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. But if you're the type of person that keeps ending up in bad relationships, true, you don't deserve to be treated that way, but what is attracting you to these people? How are you finding these people? What are they doing to you or saying to you in the beginning that you think is alluring, which is actually very bad? It's kind of like, the people that are attracted to the bad person, like bad boy, bad girl, bad whoever, whatever. It's kind of like they get very drawn to that, and they're like, that's my type. I'm like, well, then that type ends up in train wreck. I mean, if you have to go on a date or two, but let it go from there. I've had these conversations with, kind of like, but that's my type, and I'm like, well, that type is not just it's not just for show. That's who they are. If they're rude and they steal, God, especially if they steal, or if they're underhanded like that, that's not just a cutesy thing. That's a toxic behavior. You're attracted to a toxic behavior. You need to address that. That's not good. That's really not good. It's just weird. I don't know. I can just think of having these conversations and just when you hear it on the other side and they're saying it themselves, you're just kind of like, how do you not know? How do you not realize? But some people don't. They have to come to that realization, especially if this is hitting and you're like, I've told them many, many times. Maybe you're thinking that I've told them many, many times. You're attracted to this certain type of thing. That always, it's just the start of a bad situation. It always is. And they've agreed with you maybe in the past, but they keep going to it. There's no need to say anything anymore. They got to think about it. Do they like ending up in these train wreck situations? Are they enjoying that? They have to realize that the people they're attracted to, if that's what's happening, that's where they have to fix. Why are they attracted to that? Why is that so attractive? Probably is going to require a therapist for help on that. I'm just going to say. Because the more they start working on their own energy, the more they start figuring it out, the better things go. Where should they take this if they start figuring it out? Just in case Cancer has to give some 2 cents. Ace of Cups and the Devil card. They have to start admitting to themselves what part they play in the situation. That's hard. Because I feel it myself. I've gone through things and I'm just like, it's not been fair where things have happened or where they've gone. And sometimes the best you can do is go, well, from here forward, I got to protect myself and live my life differently so that doesn't happen again. And sometimes that's the best you can do. Maybe you can't protect yourself from everything, but you can pick yourself back up and try to pull it back together. And when you get to that point where you're just like, you know what, life has its wild card situations, it's all over the place, but I'm just going to stand up and do my best, and I'm just going to do what I can to avoid the bad and go closer to the good. Life is always going to have disruptions. In reality, everybody has them. If you have breath in your body, life is not going perfectly, and it never will. That's not what these lives are about. To your last dying day, there will always be some type of challenge. But they fluctuate in intensity. Some years are better than other years. Some decades are better than other decades. What can you say? But once they own what they can own, and sometimes people lose things. I keep getting this analogy, and I'm trying to understand how they're trying to apply it. Sometimes people lose a lot. Maybe they lose a house. Maybe they lose a child, which is extremely hard. That can be very devastating in a long-term effect, even for the people around the person who maybe was the parent. It's very devastating. But it's kind of like stepping back, realizing what you still have, what you gained from the experience. Would you have rather not had the experience at all, or are there parts of it that you're thankful to you at least had that? Some of this is really hard to accept. Some of it is extremely hard, and it's very hard to look at. But it's something. Life is set up that way. Am I really going to go down that road? I guess I will for a second. I've heard the analogy, read the analogy, never been through the analogy, that sometimes children come in, they live short lives, and the gift that they gave was not only that they were there to begin with, but they expand that person's heart to love even more than they could before. They came in to help that person grow, and they left the gift of their being there to begin with. It's hard to accept, it's hard to deal with, especially when my grandmother lost a child when he was 2, and it really looked like it really hurt her for the rest of her life. And it's really hard to look at that and go, like, that was a blessing. It's really hard when you see the devastation it creates. But it was meant to create a moment. It was meant to create more expansion of love, not to hold yourself there and hold yourself down, which I personally haven't gone through, so I know that's kind of weird that I'm even talking about it. But the fact is, it's meant to help you grow, not to hold you down for the rest of your life. But it can. Things like that can hold you down. So letting this person think it out, find their way, and then supporting them on their path when they decide what way they need to go to get out of whatever negativity they're in, that's the best you can do. They have to open the door. It's their door. They have to unlock it, then open it, and it's up to them to figure out how to do it. It's not easy. I think that's why we're giving the child explanation, because this feels that type of hard. Like, it's horrifying to know happened, and it's just really hard to help somebody pull up from it. But stepping back, just giving them that emotional pitch pipe to bring them into an energy where they at least feel loved, giving them the strength to think it out and then make their next steps forward, and the next appropriate steps forward. This is somebody, if this is hitting, of course, that probably would benefit greatly from the correct therapist. It's been said to me many times, and I do believe it, not every therapist fits every person. Sometimes you gotta kind of date, if you will, find the right therapist, and then go from there. Just in case that makes sense to somebody. Are we good? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below with the same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.